So excited to be sharing that with y'all today. And first off, I want to thank you for being here. I know your two most important resources are time and money. So thank you. So my goal is to make this really worth your time and so that you get a ton of value today and hear things that you really haven't learned about in sales that you're not hearing out there. So today the goal is really to teach you how to use psychological triggers to increase sales without you feeling sleazy, slimy, or salesy. And by the way, I'm going to be talking pretty fast since we got started later. The reason why I think this is so important to be teaching this is that people need to understand that humans are very complex and we all have very rich personalities, and we need to learn how to connect to them in the right way. And unfortunately, the traditional sales training that is out there is very old school. It's very like high pressure, twist their arm and try to get them to say yes, right? And to focus on all the negatives and the pain and all of these sorts of things. And I really want to empower other people to learn a better, more transformational way to sell by understanding these psychological triggers that we're going to share today. So that's the why behind this. So what do you think about when you think of selling? What do y'all think about when you think of selling? What comes to mind? And it's probably not the things that I already have in there, right? You might think selling is pushy. Selling is being aggressive. Selling is being slimy, right? But really, if all you get out of today is knowing opportunity, yeah. And so if all you get out of today is reframing what selling is and knowing it's opportunity or it's psychology, or selling is serving, selling is understanding, it's confidence, it's coaching, understanding that that's what it is, then that alone will help you feel better about sales, in addition to what I'm going to teach you today. If you stay until the end, I'm going to give you all a bonus objection handling tool. So a lot of times we get the I can't afford it objection. And so I really want to go over that with y'all so they practically sell themselves. So if you stay till the end, you will get that objection handling tool. Need analysis. Yeah, Ross, that's good too. Exactly. You're trying to find out and discover what exactly their needs are. So if y'all want, you can grab some pen and paper, take some notes. I'm going to be talking really fast, like I said, to get through this. But you can also go back and watch the replay because I think there's going to be a lot of ahas for y'all. So really quickly, this is not about me, and this is super quick and easy, but you need to know my credibility and why I'm able to talk to y'all today, right? So obviously, I'm Crystal Johnson. I put the Dawn in there because there's a lot of Crystal Johnsons, if you were wondering. So Crystal Dawn Johnson. I have over 7 years of successful sales and mentoring experience. I'm a certified strategic interventionist, and really what that means is it's Tony Robbins coach training, so a lot of NLP and different types of things like that. Coach U, kind of that's your more traditional life coaching. And with all of that background, I was starting as a life coach, and then I thought, hey, I really love sales and I love putting all of this together to have transformational sales conversations. So that's when I became a sales coach. And then I'm the leader at Heart Centered Sales Mastery Group. So I've got to admit to y'all, I've always been good at sales, but, and I'm not saying that to brag, but this will all make sense, but I never really believed in what I sold. What that meant is less money in my pocket, and I was deeply, deeply unfulfilled. I wasn't happy at all because I didn't believe in what I was selling. And so I also want you to know that I know sales, but even I struggled with sales early on in my business because it's a whole different ballgame selling somebody else's products and services versus selling your own. Like you have to step up your game in a whole new way. And I was trying traditional sales techniques, and to be honest, they just didn't feel good and they didn't work very well. And so I learned that there's an empowering way to sell, which is not, like I was telling earlier, not taught anymore, or it's not taught at all because everyone is taught the old way of selling, and that's just not the best way to do it. So can you imagine you get on a phone call and you have an ideal prospect or client, and you're talking to them and you're doing your needs analysis, you're understanding what type of opportunity they're looking for, what their goals are, what they're trying to accomplish. And you get to the point and you ask them, hey, can I tell you about how I work with my clients? And you talk about your packages, and the ideal client prospects like, yeah, tell me. And they're excited, and you tell them about your offering and you tell them about your price, and they say, yes. yes, let's do this. I want to move forward. Oh my goodness, how can I not? Or maybe it's the next day, they say, let me sleep on it. I need to think about it. And you follow up the next day and they're like, I'm ready to do this. Let's go. How would that feel? To get that more on a consistent basis, what would that do for your business? And I know that we're not like in a container. There's more than just us in our business. There's our kids and our spouses and our friends and our family. So what would that mean to them even? If you start getting more consistent sales and in a way that feels good, so you're not afraid to get on the phone with people, what would that do? So I just want to take you through that exercise. You'll understand why here in a little bit, but let's get started into all the great content that I have for y'all, and we'll dive in. So there'll be a lot because I'm not doing animation, so just listen to me instead of trying to read everything on the slides. But number one, mirror, mirror. So I labeled this mirror, mirror because your clients are a mirror of yourself. So what do I mean by that before we go on? I mean, if you keep getting potential clients and they keep saying, I can't afford it, I can't afford it, I don't have time, I don't have time, it's time for you to evaluate in your own life, where am I saying I can't afford it? Where am I denying myself the next step I need to take in my business? Or where am I saying I don't have time, I don't have time? So if you don't have that instance, then you can create it. You probably know something that you've been wanting in your business. Maybe someone you want to work with, maybe a course you want to take, maybe a seminar you want to go to. Put yourself in that situation. Get on a call with someone. Have them talk to you about what it is and what you'll get, and feel how it feels to be on the other side of that. And you should do that on a regular basis, because sometimes we lose touch with how fearful making a decision can be for someone, and we're not even doing it ourselves. So right here, so when you have the ability to walk yourself through and to heal that, you'll have one of the strongest and most powerful ways to support someone else in walking through it. So basically, you must influence your mind first. And it's super, super important to enter into a state of mind of success so you can help others rise up and to hold that energy, to hold that space for them. If you haven't done it yourself, then how do you expect them to do it for you? So you need to imagine and see yourself achieving and see yourself succeeding. Notice how you feel. What type of thoughts do you have? How do you talk? How do you move? What's your body language? Enter into that image of yourself, and then now you take that focus on that person. So it's good to know there will always be resistance, there will always be objections, there will always be fear no matter what. That's just part of the sales process. But it's your job to have them to believe. And to have them believe, you need to understand what it feels like and to clear up any of your stuff. I hope that makes sense. That was a lot on that one. Okay, curiosity. Y'all, this is so underutilized in marketing and when talking to people. And so this can really help you attract leads and make sales online. And actually, hang on, I'm gonna change this so I can get automation because I don't like that y'all can see everything. So you must get attention and you have to keep that attention, and curiosity helps. So really, curiosity is asking questions to open up a loop. In psychology, you're opening up a loop and people need to close that loop. They're like, I have to know what is the answer to that, right? And that's actually exactly why I did that in my webinar, saying, how'd you like to learn about this without feeling this way, right? So it elicits curiosity. So here are some examples of what you can do. How'd you like to learn about this new cool thing or process, that desirable outcome? Or ever wonder how you can earn or get this outcome with this new thing or this new process? So that elicits curiosity, it opens the loop, and it invites people to want to explore more. So it helps you get their attention and keep their attention. And then also, curiosity is so important when you're having an actual sales conversation. I tell my clients, you want to put on a detective hat and dig. You want to find out as much as you can. Like Ross was saying with that need analysis, that's curiosity. But you got to be even more curious than feels comfortable, right? So that's why you're actually calling on the call, but then curiosity before the call to get people to come to your webinars or to click on your freebies or to do whatever you're wanting them to do. So next is the why. So a lot of y'all probably follow a lot of inspirational personal development type people. And so you might have heard of Simon Simic, and he talks about the why of the business. That's not what I'm talking about here, but essentially he says, don't sell the what, but sell the why. I don't care what you do. I want to know why you do it. And so this is kind of related, but you need to tell people why you're offering something to them, or why it's important for them to know this, or why they should be learning this. And the reason you do that is because our brains are always searching for answers. So anything that you're presenting, you're doing curiosity and you're telling them, this is why this is important for you to learn. So a perfect example of this is the Xerox experiment by psychologist Ellen Langer. And she found that people are willing to do more for you if you give them a reason why, even if that reason is completely arbitrary, right? And so the actual study, they had people standing in line to use a photocopier, and they were 34% more likely to let someone cut in front of them, even when their reason was as meaningless as, because I have to make copies. So for you and in your business, think about it. If you have a very compelling why they should download your freebie, or why they should attend your webinar, then that 34% probably increases from there. And so that can be very, very powerful. People are always looking for an answer. That's just how our brains are wired. So messaging, this goes pretty much hand in hand with the curiosity and the why. Your brain, all of our brains, or it's like a Velcro for negative things or negative thoughts, and it's Teflon for positive ones. So Teflon, like the non-stick on the pans. And so your brain is attracting all of these negative things. And so what they found is negative stimuli actually gets more attention and processing than positive. And people work harder to avoid loss than attain an equal gain. So in your messaging, and we're going to get more into the sales call where we don't really dig deep into the pain, but in the beginning, in the messaging and trying to attract people, the negative things can be more powerful than the positive, to grab their attention and to make them sign up so that they want to find out more, in addition to the why and the curiosity. So next is pattern interrupt. So now we're starting to get really in the heart when you're actually on the sales conversation and things that you're not really taught, traditional sales. And so really the goal is to stop the train of negative thought and to get your potential client to where you want them to go by elevating them to a higher version of themselves. Okay, so you have to assume when people come on a call, they have negative thoughts. They're like, she's going to try to sell me. He's going to try to sell me. I don't really want to do this. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I want to spend the money on this. I've already tried all these things, blah, 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 blah. Like they already have all these doubts and these fears that they're bringing to you on the call. And so you need to know that they're having that, right? And so your job is to interrupt that pattern. And a way to disrupt someone's limiting beliefs and those patterns is to elevate them. And you can elevate them by asking questions, some very empowering questions. For example, so you ask them their goals. What do you want to accomplish? Great. What has to be true for you to achieve the goals you shared with me? What has to be true for you? So this is an elevating type question. Even more elevating is, who do you have to be? Who do you have to be to have that goal? And so you're slowly taking them out of this fear, this negativity, and you're elevating them. And so you're having them see life as it can be, life as it should be, and what they have to do to step up to that. And so this goes back to the mirror. Like if you haven't done this yourself, you haven't stepped up, then it's going to be hard for you to ask them to do it. So who do you have to be? Okay. And I know a lot of y'all probably have heard this, the 80%, 20% rule, like 80% of our success is mindset. It's like your thoughts, your feelings, your attitudes, your self-esteem, your images, and 20% skills and knowledge. Well, another thing to consider is when people are making a buying decision, it's 80% emotional, 20% logical, right? So this is starting to tap into that emotion and elevate them to the place that they need to be to say yes. Because again, it's scary making an investment in yourself, especially if it's a big investment. And so one, you need to know what that feels like. And then two, you need to ask them questions to elevate them to that. So some pre-work for this, you want to ask yourself, what are the negative things your potential client likely tells themselves for whatever your specific services and offering is, right? What are the negative things they tell themselves on a daily basis, a weekly basis? What are those things? Because you want to know, like, that's what they're bringing to the call, right? And then ask, what keeps them up at night? Like, maybe it's not making enough money. Maybe it's their business is like stagnant. It's not going anywhere. You really want to understand, and even better, you start getting people on the phone and you're asking them these things, and not just in your head, but actually finding out from people. And these are the things that you're trying to interrupt, right? You're trying to elevate them. So another thing I always do, and I recommend, is learn some metaphors, analogies, short stories, either personal or not personal, that resonate with you and are relevant to whatever you're selling. And so you want to plant the seed by giving them visuals through those metaphors and analogies. And so here's the thing, the human brain works better if we see visuals and we hear stories, because that's tapping in again into that emotional aspect of us making a buying decision. And the metaphors can be super simple. I mean, I use one with baseball all the time, you know, I might get the language wrong, but really people go the best of the best in the MLB, the Major League Baseball League. They go at bat and they swing, and out of every 10 swings, they only hit 3. That is the best of the best of the best within the major leagues. And so they have more misses, they have more failures than they do hits. And so that's like a good metaphor analogy for someone. And they start to picture, you know, when I was telling you, you might have pictured someone going up at the bat and swinging, and it starts to become more real for them and deeper. So if you can learn some metaphors, analogies, even like the top business people and entrepreneurs, they're always like, have you heard this analogy? Have you heard this metaphor? So it's just good for yourself too, but it's good to have as a tool when you're speaking with someone and you're trying to elevate them. So this is just informational and for you to know. So our ego's job is to keep us to what we are used to doing, what's safe, what's known, what's comfortable. And so you are asking someone to give up control. You are asking someone to change what they are currently doing. And that is difficult. Acknowledge that and interrupt the pattern. So you can let them know, this is something that I do, let them know that there's always a bit of fear when you do something new. Like, that's okay. Like, I actually expect fear to come up. Like, that's pretty normal. And so you're combating that fear and that limiting belief right off the bat, right? And so, you know, that's natural. And quite honestly, if you don't have a little bit of fear, you're probably not taking a big enough step forward. If there is fear with excitement, move forward. Let's go. If there is fear with any sort of low-level energy, like nervousness or dread, you're just like, I'm dreading it, then it's potentially not a good fit for you. And note, the purpose of a sales call, I know y'all are listening to this and you're like, oh, you're telling them it's not a good fit, maybe if they feel nervous, but really the purpose of a sales call is not to get someone to say yes, yes, yes. I know that's crazy. It's crazy. But the purpose of a sales conversation or discovery call is to guide someone to a decision. And you want to make sure it's the right decision for them. Because I mean, I'm in sales and I don't close everyone on the first call or the first follow-up that I have with them. Some people just need more time to be in that space. And that's okay, because guess what? We need clients 3 months from now too. And this is just a heart-centered way, an authentic way to leverage psychology and to elevate them again, and acknowledging that this is a difficult situation, but telling them like, hey, this is a natural part of it. I get it. And then being able to let their guard down and have a conversation about that. So next, really important, number 5, sensory language. You want to use language to connect with the feelings of the ego, with the service you're selling, with descriptive language. You want to tie it all in together. So you want to elicit positive sensations in the prospect's mind. You want to find out what keywords do they keep using to describe pleasure. Take note of that. Associate your services or your presence with those positive emotions and feelings. So, you know, they say, I really want freedom in my business. Say, working with me working with me with my package or whatever you're offering, that will help you get to the freedom that you're looking for. See, I really like freedom. Some people like the word balance, and there's a lot of energy around the word balance. They're like, I just need balance in my life. If they say balance and tie it to, because they see that as pleasurable, and tie that to what you're offering. If they say balance and I say freedom, or I tell someone, oh, I want freedom in my life, and they say, well, I'll help you get balance. I'm like, I'm not that interested, right? And so you want to learn their language and you want to speak their preferred way, how they learn. So word choice is critical in sales. And what I mean by that is they're visual, they're auditory, or they're kinesthetic. So visual is they say things like, you know, I see this, I picture it this way, I imagine this, or kinesthetic, I feel this way, I have these feelings. And if you can start to talk their language, so for me, for example, I'm visual and kinesthetic, a little bit more visual, kinesthetic next. I'm not auditory at all. So it's not natural for me to say, that sounds good, or clear as a bell, or anything. But if my potential client's saying that, I'm going to say that too, because I'm connecting with them on a subconscious, deeper level, right? And you want to listen to those keywords and you want to write them down in addition to how they learn. So action items to that. The more you learn about yourself, if you're not already seeing a theme here, the more you can help other people and the more that you can sell. So you want to, for this last one, be aware of how you learn best and just know that. How do I learn best? And it might be interesting to you because I'm not auditory, so it might be a little bit more difficult for me to pick up on those auditories. So I have to listen for that. And just know how your potential clients speak. Write down those key words and reuse them and tie them into whatever you're offering. So this is all about really, really listening. What do they find pleasurable and tying that into your offering. So this is a really big one, visualization, and I don't see this taught at all. And really, vision is the art of seeing what's invisible to others. Vision is the art of seeing what's invisible to others. Now, this, in my opinion, so succinctly reveals how to succeed in sales. You have to show someone the vision that they are going to get when they work with you. That is your job, right? And you want to ask them about their vision and their future, and you can do that, but they might need help with it because they haven't really thought about this. And you might ask questions like, what does your ideal day look like? Your ideal body, your ideal business? What does that look like? Tell me more. What would you do on a given day? What would that look like? Try to have them paint the vision for you. Now, a lot of people aren't good at this and they'll be really short with you and they'll say, well, my ideal day is I work 4 hours and then I hang out with my kids the rest of the day. You know, they won't give you very much information. And some people, they'll give you a ton and you're like, whoa, okay. But for the people that don't and they need some help, you can have them imagine. And so I did this a little earlier. And if you were really paying attention, maybe you could feel how that felt to have someone talk to you like, imagine this. And you want to amp up their vision. You know, you want to make it more compelling, right? Because they need some help. And your job is to make them working with you more compelling and to amp up their vision. So you can say something like, you know, imagine you are making a decision and fully determined to take control of this area of your life and think and feel and how it changes your life, how you relate to others and how they relate to you. Imagine that for a month, you're super successful as you want to be. Imagine your business growing. Imagine, and this is something neat too, because it puts them in the frame of mind. Imagine this, I'm in the middle of you, and on the right side, you have the strong, confident self. You're strong and you're confident and you're on the right side of me. And then on the other side is the person back before we started having this conversation, right? So on one side, super strong and confident. On the other side, you came in maybe with some hesitations and with some fears. On the right side, you are strong, you're happy, and you're soaring higher and higher in life. You leave those low levels of success, you let them go, and you concentrate on the strong side. The past is on one side and the future is on the other side. So really what all this means is you're helping them believe in themselves and what's possible and that your solution can help them achieve that. And so do you notice, like for that exercise, obviously you put this in your own words and you do it how it makes sense with whatever you're selling, but you are in the middle of where they are and where they want to be. You are bridging that gap. And you are elevating them. And so that feels a lot better than like pressuring them and twisting their arm like, what's wrong? What's wrong? Which, yes, you have to find out their challenges, but this feels so much better. And you want to be focused on the experience that you're giving them on that call. Because then if they've had that experience, they're going to tell their people, oh, you need sales help, go talk to Crystal. Or you need this, go talk to Yulia, whatever it might be. So action items, y'all. Know the vision you have for your clients. You got to do the pre-work. Know the vision you have for your clients. Okay, so this is over and beyond results. It's like the vision. What do you want them to feel like? What would it look like their day to day? Have them imagine as if, imagine this, or whatever language that you want to use. Know the vision for yourself. If you're asking someone else to step into their higher self, if you're asking somebody else to see the future in a compelling way, know that for yourself too. And if I always thought, like, I love future thinking and visionary things, and I thought just everyone else did too, and they don't. So if that's not a strong suit, get some help with that. And then you can help your other clients step into that. And this is not only good for sales, it's good for all areas of your business, right? And your life. Lastly, and most importantly, believe in what you offer. I mean, that's pretty much, I said in the very beginning, like, I was really good at sales, but I didn't believe in what I offered. And I felt like not fulfilled. And you should really ask yourself, would I be willing to pay for what I'm offering at the price that I am? And if you're not, you need to reevaluate, or you need to like discount, or do some free sessions and build up that confidence and really, really, really believe in what you're offering. So then you can allow them to amplify their vision, and you can help them do that. So number 7, really important, last but not least, well, this is the last one, but not least, is empathy. Okay, your secret weapon is to empathize. And I want to tell y'all a short story. So when I was in corporate America, I worked for Citrix. It's a software company. And I went to a sales training, and the trainer told me, you're going to be really good at sales. You're going to be really good in this business with this company. And I was like, oh, why so? Why do you say that? I was like really excited. And the trainer told me, because you have empathy. And I was like, oh. And I was so distraught about it at the time, because I'm like, that's not, because we connect empathy as a weakness. We connect empathy as like not strong. I was hoping he'd say, because you're confident, because you're a good presenter, because you're smart. I was wanting to hear that. And he's like, you have empathy. And the longer I'm in business and sales, I'm like, oh, yes, empathy is your secret weapon, and it will help you soar to the top for sure. So you want to show clients. So what I mean by empathy, let's back up, is I understand what you mean. I understand how you feel. I was that same way. My client was in that same position. You're just relating, right? And you're empathizing with them. But you also want to show potential clients you're not only there for a sell. Because here's the thing, and you can remind them in subtle or unsubtle ways, you want to help them just make the best decision. I'm here to help you make the best decision. And that takes off a ton of pressure. But here's the reason why. People are super skeptical, and they're being sold literally all the time. So you want to be different. How can you stand out? Let them know you want to serve them, and you are there to guide them in making this decision. And I'm telling y'all, when you do this, literally, I remind people there's no pressure, and that brings their guard down so much. And then you can truly have transformational sales conversations. You can really visualize and get to these images that you're trying to get them to associate with your services or your offering. So help them take their guard down, because someone's already on the call and they're like, I know they're going to pitch me. I know they're going to pitch me. I know they're going to pitch me. And they just get all freaked out, and like, let that go. Like, let's have a real conversation. Let's talk transformation and how what I can do can help you, and if it makes sense right now. So yeah. Whew, y'all, that was a lot of information. Hang on, I'm gonna come. So I had it on presenter mode, so I'm just now seeing Ross. I'll answer y'all's questions. Let's see. Golden circle. Oh yeah, with yep. Yes. How did you determine your value? I don't know what you mean by that. Oh, do you mean like what, Ross, do you mean by like how much you charge? I'm assuming. If you mean how do you determine your value as far as how much you charge, I feel like you just start somewhere and then you see energetically if you're selling, I'm not sure what you're selling, but if you're selling like a business solution, or for entrepreneurs or business owners or health and fitness, I don't know, whatever it is, you kind of look at the industry standards and see what are other people doing like at the very top, and what are like newbies doing. And I kind of want to be in between that based off my background. So determining the value is looking at what I bring to the table and knowing I have over $20,000 worth of investing in myself. I have all this sales trainings, all these different things. I compare to other people in the industry, and then you just pick a price, and then see. Yes, exactly. But yeah, y'all. So yeah, that was so much information, so much. And I talked a little bit faster just because we had a slow start. Thanks for hanging on with the technical difficulties. But if you want to talk further about this and customizing different things, learning more, if this like resonates with you and you like the idea of not high pressure sales and go for the kill and go for the close, I mean, that's not how I am at all. And I think you can get even more business doing it this way. Yeah, and if you're like hard closes, you might in the short term get more business, but we're in such a transparent world with online that people are like, I did not like how that person spoke to me on this. It's just so transparent. So if you can rise above that, then long term, you're always going to be having clients. You're always going to be having people refer you, especially if you're in like, service based and you're helping other people that are like, service-based. They're helping other people accomplish other things. So yeah, that was a lot. What I want to do is I want to send a quick invitation. This is only one slide, but if you are ready to feel more confident in sales, if you're ready to have transformational conversations with potential clients, to put some of the things that you learned today in effect, I mean, you can go and try them today. My recommendation is don't try it all at once, right? Slowly stack things on top and practice. Like if you want to start doing Imagine This with people, practice it first and see how it feels and create that vision for them, but don't try to do all this at once. But if you're ready to talk to someone one-on-one, if this really resonates with you, you want your conversation so that they flow and they feel good. If you are ready for consistent clients and a customized approach based on your unique personality and increasing your income goals, then let's schedule a free 1-hour discovery call. And I was gonna have it where the link popped up, but I got all flustered and I don't have it set up. So if you're interested, you can just let me know and then I can send you the link. And I'll send that out also on the replay. The link will be on the replay. So last piece, I love this. I didn't want y'all to see all of it, but bonus, objection handling. So the objection, I can't afford it. So this is really, really cool. You can do reverse psychology. And so most people are not expecting that you're going to tell them that they're right. You're going to try to be like, what do you mean you can't afford it? So you can say, maybe you're right. And so it's reverse psychology. So you could say something like, you might be right. Would you like to find a way, or would you like a way to find the money? Or maybe you're right, but let me ask, if we put money to the side and that wasn't an issue, would you want to do this? If they say yes, why? What would this do for you? And then you ask, what would this do for you? Why do you want to do this? And this is where you practically get them to sell themselves. And so, and the way, yes, it will. Yay. And I look forward to talking to you, Ross. I'll email you the link afterwards. And so yeah, where was I going? Yeah, so ask why and what would this do for you? And then they're practically selling themselves. Sorry, I got distracted trying to read. But that's really all I have for y'all. I just want to thank you again so much for being here today and for listening. If anything, I hope if you got anything out of it, at least you reframed selling, but I'm thinking that you got a lot more out of it. My apologies again for having a slow start, but thank you for bearing in with me and getting listening in. And Ross, I will reach out to you and anyone else. I'll have it all in the replay with the link so that we can set up a time to talk. So that is it, y'all. Have a good rest of your day, and I will talk to you later. Okay, bye.